What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tri-State Wrestling Federation. We're going to start this episode with a bit of an announcement. We're going to move everything on this channel to one release per week, so there's possibly Wrestling Empire when we can fit that in. That's more of a flex. And RCW will all be one episode a week. We're going to condense more shows into each episode. So maybe 4, maybe 5. I'm thinking 4. And then what we're going to do is the special events will stay as is. So they'll be their own episodes. Like Resolution or what have you. Will all just have their own episodes. Maybe at the end of that is when we'll do whatever updates or anything else we have to address, since we're going to have to condense the normal episodes. And then the special events will release as bonus episodes, similar to how I released the 1993 World Update. So there'll be an extra episode, maybe released on the weekend. I'm not sure when they'll release. I haven't figured out the schedule completely, other than everything will still release at 4 p.m. Eastern. Well, the RCW and TSWF will. Wrestling Empire might. I wanted that to be a live stream series, and it started that way. I'm hoping I can mostly keep it that way, and then I will edit and also release an edited version of it. But we'll see. We'll see how we work out the schedule. It's in the works. Anyways, let's get to the actual show, what we're all here for. Alright, here we are. First Hard Knocks of the new season. We have Dick Knox opening in the ring as he always does. Welcoming the crowd. I struggle with that every episode, saying welcoming. I don't know why. Welcoming the crowd, announcing the main event of Big Vito LaGrasso versus, surprise, Rocky Johnson. And also, less importantly, less surprisingly, I don't know, less something, announces his match of him and Fletcher Knox versus Chris Jericho and Lance Storm. 47 segment rating, kinda weak, especially since, we announced the Rocky Johnson match, so that's a pretty big deal around here, you would think. Also, you will notice, or I guess everybody would notice, that Booker T is not on commentary currently. Seemingly, Dick Knox kicked him out of the building or banned him from the building. We then have our opening match of the night of Mysterio Jr. and Juventud versus Hardy and Helms. Very, 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 very good performance from Rey Mysterio. Everybody else, not so much. Very bad, but we knew that was happening. But Rey did what Rey does, so we're happy. We had the debut of our referee, our backup referee, and a debut of somebody else in the last. I don't remember. Oh, our new play-by-play guy. Our play-by-play man left. We got a new one. We then have a promo, or I guess an argument almost, back and forth backstage between Brian Armstrong and Glenn Gilberti, leading to a match later. That's shocking how bad that is. Glenn and Road Dogg going back and forth on the mic would be incredibly entertaining, and that got a 25. That's crazy. That would be a hell of a promo. We then have Doomsday putting a beating on JT Smith. JT Smith putting up a 40, Doomsday 35, but only a 30 segment rating. Disappointing, actually, seeing those match ratings. Interesting. Great job from Doomsday, aka Kane, if y'all didn't remember or realize. We then have Brian Armstrong cheating his way to a victory against Glenn Gilberti. Both doing a 29, great chemistry, and a 27 segment rating. Good stuff. We then have really good stuff in Leaf Cassidy defeating Rob Van Dam with the snowplow in 10.5 minutes. Cassidy pulling out a 51, RVD 42, 45 segment rating. We then have we then have the featured attractions cutting a promo when Doomsday comes in and wipes him out himself. The featured attractions basically saying they want a chance at the titles. They want their titles, and, well, good luck if Doomsday comes in and wipes you out by himself. 52 in part 1, 49 in part 2. Very good stuff. These two can put on a promo, can't they? A 52 on the promo. 53 segment rating. We then have, in our semi-main event, the Knox family take on, what is their tag team name? The Thrill Seekers of Chris Jericho and Lance Storm in an incredible match where Fletcher Knox really held it back. We have a 55 match. Dick Knox pins Chris Jericho with the knocks out. Fantastic tag team action. And on to our main event. No, we have a Booker T promo from backstage, absolutely ripping into Fletcher Knox. You know, the same old nepotism doesn't belong, blah, 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 this kid is blah, 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 you know. Except for Booker saying it, so it's probably pretty, for one, hellacious, but then also hilarious. 46 segment rating. And in your main event, we have an exceptional match where Vito LaGrasso defeats Rocky Johnson in 12.5 minutes with Code of Silence, making defense number 13 of the TSWF Championship. A 57 from Vito, a 47 from Rocky Johnson. Massively outperformed Rocky Johnson. Incredible main event, but can his post-match promo live up to it? It can, actually. It was good. Improvised well, better than me in this video. Segment rating of 44. Vito still talking his full-on shit. Still antagonizing Dick Knox after well over a year of being the champ now, right? Or over a year? Actually, it's a year now, wasn't it? He won that resolution last year. Still antagonizing owner and resident badass Dick Knox. A fantastic show. 54 show rating. No popularity changes, which is interesting, being that our popularity is a 14. But anyways, fantastic show. Catch you on the next. Alright, here we are. Hard Knocks, number 2 of the episode. We open with Dick Knox in the ring, doing the opening, welcoming the fans, announcing the main event of Big Vito LaGrasso, this time against Tito Santana. Big match, big announcement, great interview, 51 segment rating, crowd pops, hot and rising. He also announces Booker T will be facing off one-on-one with Fletcher Knox tonight. This is it. Prove the shit he was saying. Clearly Fletcher Knox, if it's all nepotism, show it. Beat him. Beat him. And then he announces his opponent, Perry Saturn, as well. Gives a nice little rundown of the show to come. A lot of the show to come. 51 segment rating's pretty good. We then have our opening match of Rey Mysterio and Brian Armstrong, and Rey Mysterio pulling out a win in 8 minutes, pulling out a 66 performance and a 28 from Brian Armstrong. You know what's funny about this? Rey Mysterio is more popular and clearly a lot better. Brian Armstrong had the nerve to complain about the booking of this match, losing to Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is far more popular and obviously way better. It's kind of hilarious, isn't it? Go on, Rey. I had no problem pissing him off for this match. White hot crowd. Great start to the show. We then have Glenn Gilberti getting some mic time, developing his character a little bit. Starting to feel a little sleazy because he's Glenn Gilberti, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Wow. We then have the Lightning Kid taking on Chris Candido, where the Lightning Kid defeats Chris Candido in 10 minutes with a super kick. And boy, can these two put on a match. I mean, Lightning Kid can put on a match with anybody. He could put on a match with a Baroom, and it'd be at least a 50, I think. Beautiful stuff. Feels like wasted matches, doesn't it? How good these are, but you gotta put on a show, don't you? We then have Jeff Jarrett terrorizing, kind of trying to address Sean Morley and Stevie Richards, but there's a little bickering and fighting back and forth between Jeff Jarrett and terrorizing. There's clearly heat. I think Jeff's getting sick of terrorizing, letting him down. Same way I am. Segment rating 61 did not let me down here. This is very, very good. Beautiful promo from Double J and Paul Levesque. We then have our big feud of the night. A wild brawl, Fletcher Knox, Booker T. 8 minutes, Fletcher Knox takes down Booker T with a Knox lock. putting Booker back in his place, silencing the doubters once again, and ending that short little feud that, eh, ending that short little feud, I guess. Fletcher Knox was off his game again. Is he ever on his game? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's interesting when Booker T is carrying somebody in the match where he's disappointed me basically this whole series so far. Segment rating 37. Probably better than I expected, or around what I expected. So good. It's good stuff. Good stuff. We then have the featured attractions taking on the Blue Bloods. And, well, decent. I mean, Sean Morley's off his game, terrorizing. I mean, he lives off his game. So, 46 segment rating. We have the featured attractions defeating Blue Bloods in 16 minutes when Stevie Richards pins terrorizing with a Stevie kick. JJ carried the match. Double J carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, and he's carrying this team as well. Terrorizing's dragging him down a little bit, isn't he? Huh. And you can see why Double J is getting frustrated. We then have Sean Morley and Stevie Richards cutting a promo, talking about, well, trashing Kid Cash a little bit, saying they're not scared of Doomsday. They're coming to get those belts. And, well, Kid Cash comes out, kind of distracting him, kind of mocking him when Doomsday enters the ring from behind and just batters them too. Takes Sean Morley out first, and by the time Stevie Richards can even react, he's already mauling Stevie Richards. 47 segment rating. Pretty good feud going on between these two tag teams. I mean, you got the two great promos, and then you got a monster, Kid Cash, who's great in the ring, and everything's just flowing pretty well. And, you know, tag team's not the easiest thing to book, let's be honest. At least for me, tag teams get lost in the shuffle a lot. But in your semi-main, we now have Dick Knox taking on Perry Saturn, which I feel like we've probably seen this before, but, you know, Dick Knox, like, he likes his tune-up matches. He likes to keep fresh. He likes to keep on it, you know, keep in good form, just in case. And, well, 48 segment rating, not the worst. A 60 from Dick Knox, so this getting a 48 is kind of ridiculous. Should be much higher, but we then go to a Chris Jericho promo. He's getting his little mic time. Showing a little frustration that his career's kind of stalemating here. He's not really going anywhere in the tag or singles. Showing a bit of frustration backstage. 44 segment rating. A little disappointing for Jericho as well. We then have our main event, which is not disappointing. It's not disappointing at all. Big Vito LaGrasso defeats Tito Santana in 12 minutes with the Code of Silence, making defense number 14 of the TSWF Championship. 53, he outperformed Tito Santana. I mean, come on. Vito's legit at this point. Vito is legit at this point. And you're probably never in the rest of the company history going to see a title reign this dominant like Vito has had. Almost 500 days he's held it now. 14 defenses now. Actually an incredible reign. We then, wow. I mean, Vito's on fire. We then have Vito, post-match, grabbing the mic, cutting another promo. Same old Vito, smug bullshit. Looking Dick Knox dead in the eye at commentary as he just antagonizes the shit out of him until, well, Dick Knox kind of just sick of it. Throws his headset, charges into the ring, and these two just start throwing bombs at each other for the next 5-6 minutes before most of the locker room can clear to pull these badass dudes apart. It's a full-on brawl, bar fight at this point, and clearly it was good because Jesus, 56. Yeah, Dennis Caraluzzo debuts here, staff member gimmick. Look at that, got a great rating out of that. Good for him. 56 segment rating, way better than I expected. Holy schnapps. That is a great show. Overall rating of a 58. That is a hot ending to Hard Knocks. Alright. I will catch you at the next show. Wow. Alright, here we are. Final Hard Knocks of the episode. We have Dick Knox opening in the ring as always, welcoming the fans. introducing the show, announcing tonight there will be a triple threat match to determine number one contender for Vito's title. Next month, who will face Vito one-on-one? Leif Cassidy, Rob Van Dam, the Lightning Kid. He also announces he will be facing Larry Sharp tonight. He's also hot because he hasn't seen Vito tonight. As far as he knows, Vito is not here. Segment rating 68 is wild. What a promo. What a hot start. And that went down quick. We then have Taz take on Steve Bradley in the opener. Taz cooking him, let's be honest. Steve Bradley rusty. Taz off his game, but 36 good enough. It's a nothing match, right? 2-0 guys at this point. We then have Chris Jericho taking on Tommy Dreamer. Chris Jericho absolutely carrying the match, finishing Tommy Dreamer in 8 minutes with a lion tamer. Pretty good stuff. 42, good enough for me. We then have Chris Jericho cutting another promo, this time actually in the ring, feeling himself a little more. He's feeling better, he's feeling the momentum, he's starting to get back on track, and he's feeling like big things are coming. 46 segment rating, maybe they are. Until he goes back off on tour again. We then have Glenn Gilberti taking on Giant Diamond in 8.5 minutes, finish him with a figure 4 leg lock. John Diamond's just a guy who showed up and said, "Hey, you got some work for me?" I'm like, "Sure, I got some work for you. You can job for me. Screw it." So yeah, I don't mind giving a guy work, right? Especially if he's showing initiative. Glenn Gilberti 24, John Diamond in his debut match 13, whatever. It's again a throwaway match, really. Just getting Glenn Gilberti some work in the ring, getting him, I guess, some momentum, keeping him from getting rusty. We then have Debbie Malenko taking on Fantasia, and of course Fantasia is rusty, and I'm surprised Debbie isn't. 41 from Debbie, very well done. 32 segment rating, disappointing, but of course they're rusty, they barely work. That's on me, right? It's got nothing for them, honestly. 32. We then have Dick Knox confronting Kid Cash, and I guess Doomsday standing there next to him, but talking to Kid Cash about, listen, I can't have whatever this is running wild around here. You need to control your guy. And Doomsday just steps up. They stand face to face. Nobody really backs down. Kid Cash just nods his head and they walk away. That's it. Nothing crazy, just control your boy. Doomsday trying to intimidate, but nobody intimidates Dick Knox, right? So, 45 segment rating. Definitely not as over as the Open, but still good. Sean Morley and Stevie Richards clearly not here tonight because they got absolutely hammered last month, and might be a pretty long recovery there. We then have Fletcher Knox taking on JT Smith in a pretty crap match, but Fletcher Knox is getting better. Fletcher Knox defeating JT Smith in 9 minutes with a Knox lock. Decent enough. Getting there eventually, slowly but surely. I mean, he's young, right? He's young, he needs a lot of work. We then have, on Fletcher Knox's way to the back, Glenn Gilberti coming out, congratulating him, say, "Yeah, good job, brother. Good stuff." That was a really good match, and just hyping him up a little bit. Very good 1 minute angle right there. 38 segment rating. Good stuff. Wow. We then have the Blue Bloods take on Mysterio Jr. and Juventud. I tell you what, Mysterio and Jeff Jarrett can carry 2 duds there, can't they? Crazy calling Hoovy a dud, but I mean, he is only doing a 30. So, 54 segment rating. Jeff Jarrett pins, who does he? Oh, he submits Rey Mysterio with the figure 4 leg lock. Very good stuff. Wow. Much better than I expected, even though I knew Rey Mysterio and Jeff Jarrett would pop off. I just thought their partners would drag it down a bit. Very happy with that. We then have Jeff Jarrett terrorizing. Still heat. Still annoyed with each other on their way to the back. Just bickering back and forth. A little shoving back and forth. Nothing too hostile yet, but there's still clear frustration, even with the win. 54 segment rating. Very good. We then have Dick Knox taking on Larry Sharp, where Dick Knox defeats him in 8 minutes with the knocks out. 55 from Dick Knox, still killing it. Larry Sharp, 50. Good stuff. I didn't expect an incredible in-ring performance from Larry Sharp, so I'm decently happy with that. And in our main event, we have the number one contenders match, where the Lightning Kid defeats Rob Van Dam, Leaf Cassidy. Yeah, Rob Van Dam and Leaf Cassidy. Where'd my brain go? In 16 minutes with the super kick. So, next month we will have the Lightning Kid, Big Vito LaGrasso, assuming he shows up to the show next month. We'll see. 59 segment rating, one of the best matches in company history. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. 59, a 60 from the Lightning Kid, a 50 from Leaf Cassidy, which could be his best match performance. Rob Van Dam, a 40. Dragging it down, to be quite honest. We had like somebody, a Rey Mysterio in there, imagine. We then have Dick Knox congratulating the Lightning Kid and announcing officially the Lightning Kid will take on Vito LaGrasso at Hard Knocks next month. Boom, 57 segment rating. Great finish to the show. And then overall, yeah, we did lose our ring pre-match, so we had to get a backup crap ring. So great show, definitely considering that penalty. An overall rating of a 55. Very good stuff. Very happy with it. I will see you back in the office. Alright, here we are. Fantastic shows this episode. Next episode will be the run-in to Holiday's Havoc. Again, so the next 3 shows, then Holiday's Havoc will be its own episode. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, as that helps me feed that hungry YouTube monster and start to build this channel up from the ground up. If you enjoy TSWF, RCW, or the ridiculousness that is our Wrestling Empire series, please subscribe and hit that bell icon so you do not miss an episode, because the schedule is changing a little bit. So we're once a week for TSWF, once a week for RCW, and most likely once a week, or I'm going to try really hard once a week for Wrestling Empire, because I have a lot of fun with it. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your days.